So we are continuing and coming close to getting all of the pieces and parts of our life review process in place. And I want to read a few things. So I'm reading straight out of the book, A Year to Live by Stephen Levine. In many ways, a life review is not so much a contemplation of events gone by as it is an inventory of residual feelings. So that's a big distinction that I want to make here, that we're not looking back at our lives and contemplating the things that happened there, just watching them. What we're doing is recognizing that many of the experiences that we've had, either good or bad, are still with us and in us. And that the process is one of practicing and knowing what can be let go, what we no longer need to carry in our life, so that our life becomes more spacious. Our inner being becomes more spacious. Our mind becomes more spacious as we don't go back over and over and over things. So, also to remind ourselves that in the life review, we experience the full range of emotions. Initially, we were practicing with gratitude and inviting some event that brought the sense of gratitude into our lives, and then practicing with forgiveness. So looking for the places where we might forgive someone or forgive ourselves. But now we're moving into a place where we're just going to allow any thoughts, any memories to arise, and to meet them with gratitude or with forgiveness. So we may have outrage at the burdens others have put on us. We might have shame for the burdens we've put on others. And we have gratitude for the gifts that we have received and great joy for all the gifts that have been given. So, to repeat myself a little bit, as the practice of attending to specific kinds of memory becomes refined, we no longer need to choose beforehand whether we will be working with pleasant or unpleasant memories. But we can open the gates of our inner being, of our memories, of our hearts. We can open those gates to the intuitive flow of whatever memory wishes to present itself. So as subtler memories of every variety arise into an increasingly gracious spaciousness, we can become more confident in the process. And the process begins to take on a life of its own. We begin to meet these memories or thoughts with gratitude or forgiveness. So sensing possibilities, it becomes eager to go further, eventually becoming capable of opening to our most guarded closedness. We can approach difficult memories as we would a great bonfire. We take one step toward it at a time. We sit down and become accustomed to the heat, and then we stand up and take one more mindful step forward. Then we can sit down again to adjust to this new perspective. So we don't have to go jumping into any of our painful memories. That's not going to help us at all. It will actually cause us to fuse our helplessness and hopelessness into a sense of personal inadequacy. So only, and I think this is what we always do here, the soft, slow approach is what we want to use. If what we want to achieve is a sense of confident completion. In fact, with some additional focus, we may be able to put the fire out from here and to remind ourselves that the fire is all of the wounding and all the ways that we have wounded others that we're still carrying. So we can put that fire out, not by throwing our bodies upon it, but by taking away its fuel. The way we feed our fire is through our attachments to our own suffering, our refusal to let things go. And of course, our practice of surrendered presence teaches us to experience deeply the feeling of letting go. So, the life review is much more than revisiting hard times. It's also a feast for the heart. It's an opportunity to be able to embrace those who've embraced us, people we've always treasured, and to also continue conversations with those people in our lives. It's a chance to bow to those who taught us how to bow and to send loving kindness to those who taught us how to love. So it may take 1,000 moments of remembering for us to stay open long enough to relate wholeheartedly to our past instead of from it. So our memories, especially negative ones, can overwhelm us and drag us down. So part of the practice is to be able to view the experience, to observe it without getting pulled into it, so that we can relate to it from here. And to recognize that what we imagined might be unworkable, unhealable, unovercomable is already in process. It's already happening in us if we can look and notice and know. So as we have done previously, we will begin with the practice of surrendered presence and then move into a process of gratitude and forgiveness. And we begin by recognizing that we are here gathered in love. So I invite us to take a breath in. And as we let that breath out, we imagine that we are a drop of water dropping into the ocean, becoming one with the ocean. And taking another breath in, we let the breath out and we recognize that that ocean that we are dropping into is love. And we allow ourselves to become absolutely one with it. And then we recognize that as we are one with it, we are also love. We are loved. We love. And we are love. I invite you now to drop into your own experience. And in this next minute or so, just noticing any experience that you might be having. Might be what you hear, what you smell, how your body feels. It might be an emotion, it might be a thought. Whatever you experience in your being, simply notice it and then name it silently to yourself. Noticing and naming our experience is our first step into presence. We can't do those two things unless we're here. So we know that we are becoming present. And we deepen that in and with and through the body. So we begin to notice how our bodies are here now by noticing our feet. And our lower legs. Knees. And our thighs. We notice our hips. And our pelvis. We notice our belly and all the organs of the belly. We notice our chest. And we notice the beating of our heart. We notice our shoulders. Our arms. And our hands. And then we notice our low back beginning down at the tailbone and following the spine all the way up. Including the bones and the ribs, the scapula. We notice the neck, scalp, and our face. And now we notice our body as a whole. Feeling the space our body is taking up here in our room. And we can feel our here-ness. We can feel we are here now. This is our physical presence. Remaining grounded in the body's presence, we begin to include inner experiences. And we begin with our hearts. And we just spend a few minutes attending to our own heart, feeling it, listening to it, entering it. What is our heart like in this moment? Trying to come to your heart without preconceived notions. Don't limit it. Let it be as expansive as it wants to be. If it's shy and not ready quite to open, just notice that. And then bringing awareness to our part of ourself that is our spirit. This energizing essence in us that flows, vibrates. Take a moment to notice that you're alive. And then I'm bringing attention to your mind. Noticing that as we become more and more present, our mind begins to quiet. As we ground in the body, the heart, the spirit, the mind no longer needs to be in prime of place. It becomes more observable. And now experiencing ourselves as one whole being, experiencing ourselves as body, heart, spirit, mind. Here now. This is our presence. And then notice the way the earth is drawing you into itself, the way it's holding you. When you recognize you're being held, to begin to relax, to give yourself over to the holding. Relaxation is an opening in our being. Our body can relax, our heart can relax, our mind can relax. Particularly when we know that love is holding us. So this is where we want to approach our past and our memories from a space of very present openness. We invite love to show us, bring into our hearts and our minds someone from our past, maybe an hour ago, yesterday, years ago, but someone from our past whose kindness has touched our heart. Just allowing that person to arise. And then envisioning yourself speaking to that person and telling them exactly what they mean to you, how their life has impacted your life. And as you do that, begin to notice gratitude arising in your being naturally. And to really understand, know what this gratitude feels like in your being. And as you notice that gratitude growing, allow it to expand beyond your own heart, your own being, beginning to include the person that you're grateful for within the sphere, the circle of your gratitude, so that the two of you are standing there together. Feel how healing this is, how opening this is. It's much different than just saying thank you. It's gratitude from your whole being. And now we're going to bring someone, ask love to show us someone in our life who's caused us pain. And not the worst offender. Probably more someone for whom we feel some resentment, anger. Someone whose memory is unpleasant, but not so anger inducing that we can't remain present and open here. Being gentle with ourselves. Someone who's brought you pain. And see if you can maybe feel how far away from their own heart that person must have been to treat you in that way. Just for this moment as an experiment in healing, our healing and their healing. See if you can touch them with the possibility, no matter how slight, of forgiveness. And what's really important here is if you are able to do that to any degree, see what that forgiveness feels like as you offer that. And to notice in your own self how you truly want to let go of this suffering caused by unforgiveness. So let it go. To open the fist in which this memory might be grasped. And let it float out into the possibility of forgiveness. Just as we did with the gratitude, we imagine that this forgiveness begins to expand outward from us. To not only say in words to somebody, I forgive you, but to actually allow the two of you to stand in a circle of forgiveness. Of healing. And as I'm experiencing it here now, I recognize that it just feels like there's this healing wave, like nothing that needs to be forgiven because forgiveness and love is so present. I no longer feel wounded. Seeing if maybe gratitude arises for this practice, for this opportunity to remember those who have been so good to us. To feel how that feels. And to remember those who failed us. And to be with that in deep compassion. And hold all of it in love. Thank you so much for practicing with me and supporting my own practice. I love you all.